now got Al on the line from Dymytry. Now, I caught up with you, I suppose it would have been a couple of years ago, on the back of when Revolt came out. And
Yes.
this is the first time I'd come across Dymytry as a band. And which I think my assumption was you were a new band, but you're not, or you've been around for quite a while. But Revolt was the first album you'd released as an English speaking one, and I think the first time you'd got involved with the band. Perhaps before we go on to speak about Five Angry Men, which is the new album, if you could perhaps give us a little bit of a recap of Dymytry for people who are not familiar with the band.
Yeah, Dymytry is a band from Prague in the Czech Republic, and it's been there for 20 years now. We just had our 20-year anniversary last year in November, and we sold out the O2 Arena in Prague with about 15,000 people. So Dymytry is quite a big deal in the Czech Republic, and back then, their former singer Proteus, he didn't want to go international. That's why I came into play to represent the band internationally. And it's kind of like a multiverse going on with Dymytry, because there's a new Czech singer. His name is Václav. He joined the band right after the arena show. And it's two different versions of Dymytry. I don't think anyone else is doing that kind of stuff, but we tried. And so far, we can't complain. We're having a good time.
Today I start a new life. I'll rise above the storm. Nobody can control me no more.
You say there was a change in frontman for the Czech side of the band. Do you not speak Czech? Okay, is that something that they could have gone with you, or are you there specifically for the English speaking?
I'm German. I'm from Germany. I live in Germany, and we were thinking about it, but for me to learn Czech, it would take quite some time, because my parents are from Croatia originally, and I speak Croatian, and the languages like Croatian and the Czech language are kind of a little bit similar, but still different. And I didn't want to do it, and the guys didn't want to do it, and we agreed it's the best way to continue like we have before. And I'm here for international stuff, and that's what I do, and that's what I enjoy.
Arms wide open till I'm broken, there to stop me now. Whatever you say, whatever you do, I will not change, will follow you. Whatever you try, you'll never be missed. Welcome to my enemy list. Whatever you say, whatever you do, I will not change, will follow you. Whatever you try, you fail to exist. Welcome to my enemy list.
And so given that this is the first time the band have broken out of the Czech Republic, I suppose, with Revolt being an English-speaking language, how successful has that been then to open up other markets?
Yeah, we went on tour quite a lot. We toured all over Europe with Lordi. We were supporting them. Right afterwards, we got on tour with our friends in Hämatom, which is a pretty famous band in Germany, and we were playing big shows with them, and we're really thankful they took us on tour. Made new fans, and we even toured some shows with Pantera, which was a dream come true. And so far, a couple of festivals we did. This year, we're doing our first headline shows in Germany. The Five Angry Men tour is going to start at the end of February, and we're expanding slowly but surely, and people are seeing us. People are we caught their attention, and most people seem to enjoy it. So we will continue.
Stand up, it's time to stand up. Remember to speak up. Tomorrow brings another blow, but now it's time to stand up. Even when the sun turns dark, look at me, they call me the revolter. Same old story that we keep forgetting. We might have lost the battle, but the war is
So how does that work then? So when you're playing dates in Germany, for example, you're singing presumably tracks off Revolt and now Five Angry Men. But what happens to the back catalogue, or do you just focus on the two newer English speaking languages albums?
Yeah, we're only concentrating on the English releases because it doesn't make sense to translate any old material or something like that. In the case of Five Angry Men, there has been a different writing process because I was included a little bit more into it. I did all the lyrics, a lot of melody lines for the vocals, and I participated basically in the songwriting this time. And what many people don't know, the English versions existed before the Czech versions in this case, so there's no need to translate anything because it's impossible to translate from the Czech language into English because the language is totally different.
So does Five Angry Men, which is the brand new album that is out now, that does that also exist as two versions?
Well, a couple of songs that are on Five Angry Men also exist on a Czech CD that's called Farmageddon. And yeah, initially they've been written in English, and then Czech lyrics were written for it by the former Czech singer. And yeah, so we used a couple of them still for Five Angry Men, and have written, I think, 3 or 4 completely new songs that haven't appeared anywhere before.
Black is the future, a golden past behind us. We are believers, baptized in deadly dust. What we created, a radiated darkness that lights our way out into extinction. Death is calling, so listen up. Can't you hear their cries begging us to stop? Voices stuck like needles in our head. Justice is near, there is no way out. A toxic flame coming from the clouds. Hidden under concrete, the road bleeds. Don't bite the hand that feeds.
So when the band are playing songs within the Czech Republic, are you also there as well to sing the English version of the songs?
No. Well, we did an exception in the arena show, in the O2 Arena. I came by and I performed 3 songs with the guys, just because a lot of people in the Czech Republic also were interested in seeing me being the frontman for Dymytry, and so we did it. And since I'm a part of the band, even though it's a different version, I was also part of the arena show. Maybe in the future I will join here and there if I have time and if it happens. I mean, we're all open to it. We're friends, and yeah, it's still quite confusing to a lot of people, but actually it's quite easy because I always compare it to the Marvel universe. You know, they have that multiverse stuff going, and yeah, it's a different vibe. It's a different kind of version of Dymytry and different lyrical content, and it's fun, you know. It's just music, and people are still mistaken me for Václav, the new singer, and Václav for me, and so on and so forth. And but I guess if we continue doing it, maybe in 20 years people will understand what we're doing.
We are fallen angels with AK-47s. Alright with the fact that we'll never go to heaven. Try to keep it together, we're here to entertain. Our anger boiling over as we're going insane. Perception is twisted, it's not right. We see the whole damn world in the dark light. We know our fears and our gods, they consume us right now. And our demons unleash all their wrath in us down. Wrath in us down.
And you mentioned there a couple of songs that have been translated into both languages. I remember from Revolt, if you were looking on YouTube, you had to be careful which version of YouTube you watched, because there was there was the same video, obviously shot twice, but with different singers. Does that happen with Five Angry Men as well?
So far, I'm not aware of it because there's also a pretty easy solution to that problem because everything that is released on AFM Records YouTube channel, that's me. That's the international version. And on Dymytry's channel on YouTube, that's the Czech side. So That's how we divided. That's how we tried to bring a little bit of less confusion into the whole freaky thing.
Roughing us down, 5 angry men and we're covered with scars. Embracing the madness, we set higher bars. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. We dwell in the underworld like brothers of Lucifer. Schizophrenic, keeping peace.
I've been watching your face.
Voice in my head always yelling at me, constantly telling me we're just five who reach for the sky. Five who are telling no lies. Five, we're still alive. 5 angry men, no, we're ready to die. 5 angry men, 5 angry men, 5. 5 angry men, 5 angry men, 5. No one can kill us, we're more than alive.
So tell us about Five Angry Men, especially if you've been involved in the writing side. What was it like to get involved with the creation of songs? And I guess how does it differ from the previous album?
Yeah, we tend to experiment quite a lot. And the writing process is kind of as chaotic as everything else in this band. And since we have like there's a long distance from my place to Prague. It's about 550 kilometers. So I travel to the Czech Republic quite occasionally, but in these days with internet and all the stuff that you can do, we write simultaneously and offer ideas. I have my studio here. They have their studio in Prague. And our producer, Kole, from Kolekela Studio, he is not far away from me. So we've been working in all sorts of constellations, as you can imagine. So I've been working with Kole on some vocal stuff. The guys came over, we worked all together. I worked by myself, and so on and so forth. And we were putting it together like a little puzzle.
Five who reach for the sky. 5 who are telling no lies. 5, we're still alive. 5 angry men, no, we're ready to die. 5 angry men, 5 angry men, 5. 5 angry men.
Tell us about the title, I suppose, Five Angry Men, because it does sound quite an angry album.
That idea came, we were traveling from a festival to another show, and we were really brainstorming what the possible title could be, and we made a list, and I don't even know who came up with that freaky idea to call it Five Angry Men. And initially we had a laugh about it because we're probably not angry at all. I mean, at times we are, because like anyone else, we're watching those things happening in the world. But yeah, it sounded like a logical title because we were intended to go with that Tarantino kind of vibe cover for it that was inspired by that, and we wanted to make it look like a movie poster, and that seemed like an appropriate title for it. But yeah, we have our opinion on certain things, and we try to criticize a lot of things, and in the same way, we're not taking ourselves too seriously because we mainly do music because it's our passion. We want to go on stage, we want to entertain, and those people coming to our concerts, they appreciate it, because I saw whenever we were support and nobody knew who we were, people were looking at us like, what are they doing? Are they evil? And pretty soon they figure out that we're there to have a good time with them. And so when you listen to the album, there's a bunch of songs that have a little bit of a crazy party vibe going on, but with a pretty satirical and serious topic. And that's our thing.
Legends never die when the world is calling you. Can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die, they become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, relentless to survive.
And Legends Never Die is actually a cover of which track?
Yes. It's a cover from Against the Current. It was a song written for the League of Legends tournaments, and we enjoyed the song. Jirka, our guitar player, he came up with the idea late at night somewhere. We were listening to that song and we thought, let's make it work for Dymytry. Let's try and see what happens, because it's always interesting to make a cover. On Revolt, as you know, we did Somebody's Watching Me from Rockwell, and that was a challenge as well. And it's kind of a tradition already, I think, for the second album. The third album, we don't have a cover. We haven't started writing the third album, of course, because Five Angry Men just got released. But yeah, it's always a challenge.
They never lose hope when everything's cold and the fighting's near. It's deep in their bones, they're running to smoke when the fire is fierce. Oh, pick yourself up, 'cause legends never die. When the world is calling you, can you hear them screaming out your name? Legends never die. They become a part of you. Every time you bleed for reaching greatness, legends never die. They're written down.
And you say, obviously, for the medium of radio, your mask is lost, but I can see it looks resplendent. But is that something that you change? Is that a change to the mask you wore for Revolt? On each album, is there a different sort of theme? Do you revamp sort of imagery, or?
No, we just have different stage outfits in the color red. Before we were gray, and yeah, we will probably change the masks too and adjust them a little bit and have an evolution going in that case. And we that's nothing that we have mapped out right now. But we will certainly do stuff like that, of course, because it's fun.
And has the band always been a masked band? If we go back far enough in the history of the band,
Yeah.
Yes.
Dymytry has always been a masked band, and believe it or not, the masks looked even worse than they do today. Because way back in the day, the guys were doing it themselves, and they looked terrible. And now we have a guy who's actually doing them, and he's a professional. He's working for movies as well, and yeah, makes him kind of comfortable as well, because as you can imagine, when you're playing summer festivals and it's 40 degrees outside, it's not fun at all.
Like I'm so unhappy. I love the way you help me. Like a black hole in my universe. The way you stare at me feels like a curse. Like that seems to warn me. Like any other morning. Like the only thing that fills this void. So stylish, timeless, and on point.
I'm sure I asked you this on Revolt, and I'll ask you again. So obviously you're now touring outside the Czech Republic, hence you're there. When are we going to get a chance to see you in the UK?
We have a booking agency for quite a while now, and it's Napalm Events, and they're doing a fantastic job right now, scheduling our headlining shows, scheduling new festivals, and we're gonna play in Spain this year. We're gonna play in the Netherlands. We're gonna go to Austria, to Switzerland, and I hope France will be part of it. I definitely hope that we will be in the UK anytime soon. We won't be in the UK as headliners at first, of course, so we're looking for a possibility to jump on a tour and do a whole European run again, and be part of a bigger tour, and present ourselves also to the wonderful people in the UK.
Everything is black, deep down below. A blackened heart is beating in my core. Everything is black, a painful flow. Black tears are crashing down on my floor. Everything is black, 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 black.
Given the masks and the sort of theatrics, what can we expect from a show from you guys? Then I imagine it's quite theatrical.
Yeah, it's really crazy, and we have all the stuff going. Even when we played support with Lordi, even when we played with Pantera and Hematome, We always have our pyros as long as the venues are okay with it. We have pyros, we have show elements in it. I don't want to spoil too much, so people still come to the show. There's bits and pieces you can see from our arena show in Prague where we had like full force going on. Yeah, it's crazy. A lot of LED animations, special lights, and all of that. So make sure to see us because I bet you won't regret it.
My body packs around me, like ashes all that I see. My companion till the end of time, got alone here with you by my side. Everything is black, deep down below. A blackened heart is beating in my core.
And you mentioned that you managed to support Pantera on tour. What was that like for you guys? I imagine that must have been amazing.
I remember we were done with our tour with Hematome, and we came back home, and I was like looking forward to staying at home for a couple of days. And we got the call that we can jump on for a few shows with them. And for me, it was surreal. It still feels surreal thinking of that because, of course, obviously one of my all-time favorites, if you're growing up as a metalhead as a kid. If I would have had a time machine at that moment to tell my 14-year-old self that this is going to go down, that would have been crazy. And yeah, imagine you're getting ready for your sound check in a big venue in Germany, in Stuttgart, and Zakk Wylde comes over, and he was saying hi to everyone, hugged us, and was the most humble, down-to-earth guy you can imagine. And yeah, so is the rest of the band, and I'm really happy about that opportunity. It was a dream come true for sure.
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you very much for chatting to me today. I'm loving what I'm hearing from the album so far. I'm going to fully digest the album. I'm certainly playing the singles, and I hope that we get to see you over here in the UK sooner rather than later.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Everything is black, a painful